Welcome everyone to the Pantheon of M. I am Ray.
I'm Evie.
So, Evie, what is our show for this week?
Our show for this week isn't it Ironman?
Yeah, it's the Invincible Ironman.
Animated movie. That was the first one that I saw. It was kind of like a 3D type thing.
Was it 3D?
Yeah, it wasn't bad, just doing it a different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was different in the sense that it's an origin story, but told slightly different from the actual 2008 Iron Man.
Yeah.
You have the connection of, they had the 10 Rings story as underlining. This one, you have they talk about the Mandarin directly, so this legitimizes the Mandarin in this version.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first question off of the bat, because I honestly don't remember why. Okay, so the whole point of the beginning was they had to raise the temple of the Mandarin.
Right.
Why?
I thought, in my opinion, that they just wanted wealth.
Oh, like this, like a museum and archives,
exactly.
just to get things in there.
Yeah.
The antiquities of what that dynasty was about.
Yeah, exactly. Raise it up so people would come see it, and make money off it because people are going to go see it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I thought maybe there was some wealth in there, like maybe money or oil or something like that. I can't remember.
Well, in that sense, I think of Tutankhamun, like when you're going to the pharaoh's tombs, because people are going for the gold, or for the jewelry. I mean, they went for the archaeologists went for the architecture, the history.
Yeah, exactly.
Not necessarily for the actual gold, but they found a lot of it.
Right.
This one, I didn't know at first. I was confused, because I didn't know it was an origin story. Because I'm thinking, why isn't Stark wearing a suit and coming over to help Rhodey when they were being attacked by the Emerald Tigers?
Yeah.
Did you see the alternate opening? There's an alternate alternative opening on the DVD or Blu-ray.
I didn't see that.
I think the reason why they don't show it wasn't actually in the actual theatrical or cartoon is because it's slow and boring as hell.
Okay.
But it's a narration opening dialogue of how the Mandarin was and who the elementals were, and how he becomes what the whole purpose of him being what, because you don't understand, they don't explain to you who the Mandarin is and who are these elementals, and what their purpose is of finding the 5 rings and what the rings represent. Told to you in the opening sequence. That's not even in the film.
Right.
Villains. Let's talk about the villains. The villains is the Emerald Tigers, right? Yet they're not really the villains. They're trying to stop. There is a twist with the Mai Li character, who is, and her character is, is because they wanted her she has an ancestral link that runs down the family chain, and because she's a woman, it kind of was disappointing to her father.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, and that's common practice in terms of tradition within the Chinese culture. I get that. Okay, so that's one thing, but to pertaining to the actual film, they're going to try to raise this temple of the Mandarin. They know that the Mandarin is an evil presence, so they've been sabotaging the rising of the temple, trying to slow it down, prevent it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now they rise the temple. So they kidnap Stark, and they try to get Stark and Rhodey to sink the temple before the Mandarin can fully formed.
Right. Yeah.
Now at this point, neither Tony or Rhodey believe anything they're saying in terms of the mystical history of the Mandarin.
Right. Okay.
That's you can agree to that, right? Right. And so the intentions of the Emerald Dragons is to prevent a supernatural catastrophe.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're good guys.
Yeah, I think so.
But they kill Jensen to promote how serious they are. They kidnap Tony and Rhodey. They sabotage, or they invade, or they kidnap. Yeah, they kidnap Tony and his convoy, which causes them to have that heart condition.
Yeah.
They put a gun to everyone's head.
True.
The leader, who is the father of Mai Li, is like a vicious person.
Yeah.
And he's by force telling them to do these things and killing people in order for them to do them. They have a guerrilla type tactics with bazookas, and they're blowing stuff up to get to do the things that they want to do, for the sake of what's right.
Yep.
That goes against everything I just said about them. They're being the good guys.
Are they?
Well, that's just it, right?
Are they the good guys?
So, but well, here's the thing. Okay, because we're
What is good and what is bad?
well. Okay, here. Okay, well here's here's the thing that's baffled me to the point where okay, dude, you're going to have to explain to me this. Okay, because we're gonna have to give away the spoiler for this. Okay, we have to. Okay, so the whole point of Mai Li's character. Okay, she is the daughter of the leader of the
Right.
Emerald Tigers.
Right.
He wanted a son because their bloodline, they're next in line to, as I thought, stop the Mandarin, because the whole point of the first half of the film was to not let the Mandarin rise.
Right. Yeah.
We agree to that, right?
Yes.
That's a given.
Yes.
Then we learn that Mai Li is the conduit to bring the Mandarin to life,
Right.
and she accepts the fact that she's the vessel for the Mandarin to exist. So in fact, they wanted the Mandarin to rise or exist in their realm of reality to plague mankind.
Okay. Okay.
What I said, did that make any sense to you? Because it didn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah, but what's good and what's bad? It all depends on your point of view.
Okay, so did you? Okay, let me rephrase that. Do you think their intention was to keep the Mandarin alive, or now, or because it's too late? Is it because it's too late? Because the fifth elemental was it Feng Fu Feng? What
I don't
what's
know.
that dragon? I don't know the name of the dragon. I'm sorry, but you know who I'm talking about.
Right.
You know that giant dragon?
Yeah.
Not Dragon Ball Z dragon, but like the Fing Fang.
Sure.
Okay, you don't. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have a Twitter account at the Pantheon of M. That's Pantheon underscore of underscore M. Please send me a tweet and tell me what is this name of the, or I can just Google it. I can do either one. Okay. So, all right. So there are 5 elementals, right?
Yes.
Earth, wind, fire, and Earth, wind, fire, water.
Water.
Okay. And Fing Fang Fun.
Okay.
I spelled blood in English, man. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, so there's what's the point of my conversation? Where am I going with this? I have no idea.
You want to know what's good
Oh, the one
and
was
what's
bad.
and does it really matter?
Yeah, does it really matter? Does any of this movie make any sense to you?
It's kind of
Okay, tell you what. Let me rephrase this. Explain the movie to me, Effie, because I need professional guidance to understand the point of this film.
okay. Somebody wants to raise the temple or whatever,
Gotcha. Right.
and somebody wants to stop the temple from being raised.
Exactly. Okay, that part
Right.
I got. 100%. I'm on
Yeah.
board. Okay.
Okay,
Right.
and that's it.
Oh, I think
And
I need.
is it right or is it wrong?
Is it wrong to do that?
Is there?
Is the raise is there, so you're saying to raise the temple, is that a moral question?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to,
Okay.
you'll never know.
No. We'll agree to disagree, but I agree with you that is, yeah, you'll never know the answer to
You'll
that.
never know the answer.
Okay.
That's what I think anyway.
In terms of an origin story, I'm gonna ignore. I'm gonna leave that alone. Do you like the origin story of how they used this version and had it run parallel with the Mandarin story? Because it's a retelling of it, how he. Oh, okay. You know what? Again, I'm gonna parade all over this again. He was Iron Man before he was Iron Man in this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
He had the suits before the cave.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
He had the whole design of Iron Man and the weapons and everything and the design, keeping it secret from everybody else.
But
Well before Pepper and Rhodey found out about it. Well before he
Yeah.
had the injury about that.
true. Yeah.
Whereas I don't think that's the case in the comic books, and I don't
No.
think it's the case in the movie.
You're right.
Like it was an evolution of the character of
Sure.
coming out of the cave and
Sure.
doing that. And his father's still alive, which is, I'm like, when is this taking place? So I have to take with a grain of salt that this is an Elseworld story. It has nothing to do. It's not necessarily canon because everything based on the MCU movie makes no sense in this movie. The father's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
The Mandarin is a ghost, is a trapped soul coming back. To explain what the Mandarin is, you're going to have to watch the alternate opening of this. It explains everything perfectly well.
Okay.
But it's boring, and that's the reason why it's not on the actual film.
I see.
Okay. So, again, what did I just talk about? I forgot.
You just talked about him being Iron Man before the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
It goes against the canon of how both comic books and what you think it should be going. It is an origin story.
Right.
Do you like that?
Doesn't matter. I kind of like films with some ambiguity.
Okay.
And it's ambiguity, and who's to say that one person is right?
Okay, I'll put this in a phrase in a film that you'll understand where it's coming from. Star Wars. Rian Johnson, this film. He's like the last Starfighter.
Yeah.
The Last Jedi. This film from Force Awakens.
Right. Okay.
Right? Everything about the Last Jedi spits in the eye of Force Awakens. You know why I'm saying that, right? Like,
explain. Like,
okay, so
I do know. I just wanna.
Let's talk about the very last scene, the very final scene of Rey handing the lightsaber to Luke, and then what does Luke do with that lightsaber?
He tosses it.
Yeah, and the whole point of the entire thing was like her connection to the like how force sensitive she is. Like she has the flashbacks at the bar of what's the one with the goggles? The one that
I know who you're talking about. I
right.
just can't remember
right.
her name.
So like yeah, so the Force takes him to the bar. Everything is for a reason. Like the whole point of the Force Awakens is like everything is done for a reason. Sure. Everything's connected. Everything leads to this one thing. It all leads to Rey finally getting to Luke Skywalker, and Luke Skywalker, tosses that and drinks space cow milk.
Yeah.
There are things in this like you're like okay, like I don't like. It's like they do certain things that, in spite of what J.J. Abrams set up, they dismiss it.
Okay.
Like giving Rey an origin story or something that something's about her. She's a nobody. They do things to not necessarily subvert expectations, but to go against what was set before it.
Right. Yeah.
So with this film, they're doing everything that if you're a comic book fan of the origin story, if you see the 2008 film, if you knew anything about the progress of him having the suit, was based on his experience from the cave and his evolution of the character to become a morally sensible person to go against the building of weapons and try to police the wrong. That's what this doesn't do that. He was already Iron Man with the suits. He had a whole gallery of different suits.
Yeah, he did.
Before that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that doesn't go. What is it? Did it work for you? Put it that way. Did it? Forget about. Okay, ignoring that. Okay, did it work for you? Okay, then him being Iron Man before all that, going into because it works in a sense that I think you have to have. He's going to fight all these 5 elementals.
Right. But what he did, he's selfish. His all of his motives are selfish.
Right.
Right. He didn't do it like to actually help mankind or whatever.
No, kept it to himself.
Right. But I guess like he wanted things for himself.
Right.
So then, in the end, who's to say?
moral ambiguity.
Exactly. Yeah. Moral ambiguity.
Okay.
I wouldn't hurt my head thinking about it.
I liked the movie, and then at the end, I said to myself, "Wait a minute! It did what? Yeah, like I'm like what? Okay, because I thought, okay, is it? You know what? I think it's because the whole thing with Miley being the opposite. Because you think, okay, well, something happened with him, Fing Fang Fung, whatever that thing's called. Like the whole when you realize, okay, the fifth elemental and her have a one-on-one, and she kind of like bows to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew she was up to something, like there was something going to happen where she's going to betray Tony, but then because she was all one way, and then you realize, okay, so she's about to betray him for the fifth ring, and she does, but then you're wondering, like, she knew what her destiny was. I don't know, like it just it's forgot what we were reviewing. The moral. Okay, there is a moral ambiguity.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
So anyway, I'm Evan.
I am Ray, and if you like this podcast, if you like our YouTube channel, please hit subscribe. Please hit like. Give us 4 or 5 stars. We really appreciate it. And more so, feel free to give us a comment. Let us know what you thought of this episode. And if you have an opinion, especially with this movie, because I don't get it. I mean, I would love to get your take on this. Like, please, leave your comments down below. We'll love to read it. And maybe I'll write something in my blog later on about that. And we could go back and forth. So, with that, we'll talk to you. Later.